In the headlines of VTV News, Prime Minister launches Year of Safety for Women and Children. Vietnam's housing market stay competitive in the region. And lid on explosive packages found at Heathrow, Waterloo and London City Airport.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time and you are tuning in for 30 minutes of VTV News broadcast live from Hanoi. Top news of the hour. On Wednesday morning, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc launched the Year of Safety for Women and Children. Launching ceremonies were held in both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City at the same time. In Hanoi, a parade marched around Hoàn Kiếm Lake to enhance public awareness of the Year of Safety for Women and Children. The Prime Minister stated that the party and state not only care about socio-economic development, but also pay attention to the quality of life, social equality and safety, especially the welfare of women and children. At the launching ceremony, the Prime Minister and delegates each donated 20,000 Vietnam dongs via text message to raise funds for helping women in border areas develop livelihoods. The event in Ho Chi Minh City also raised nearly $990,000 for programs ensuring safety for women and children. The highest deposit interest rates in some banks reached 8.6% per year, yet interest rates in the interbank market witnessed consecutive declines in the last 2 months. What are the reasons behind these opposite trends? Let's find out more in the following.
A wide range of banks increased their interest rates by 0.2 to 0.8% per year for terms of 12 or more months. This bank offers an interest rate of 8.3% for 13-month savings, 3% higher than compared with 1-month savings.
We have taken actions to restructure our capital to increase the proportions of medium and long-term capital through interest rates.
In contrast, many banks decreased interest rates for short-term savings by 0.1% to 0.3% because they have to meet the state bank's new standards for the safety of capital.
Since early 2019, all banks can only use up to 40% of its short-term capital for medium and long-term lending. Therefore, banks have to increase medium and long-term capital to meet lending demands.
Experts said increased interest rates do not result from lacking capital because interbank rates have fallen by 0.5% since early 2019, which means that banks have stable money supplies.
After Tet holiday, idle money flows into banks, so nothing is causing lack of capital. Interbank rates are expected to decrease to 3% in the coming time.
Experts also said banks will not maintain high interest rates because they will decrease their interest rates after getting enough medium and long-term capital.
There are only 3 days left until Circular 3 of the Rules of Product Origins in the Comprehensive and Progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTPP, issued by the Ministry of Industry and Trade takes effect. This circular promises to bring many benefits to export businesses from the 10 countries in the Trade Pact. But to take advantage of this agreement, businesses will have to strictly comply with the regulations regarding the origin of their products.
The CPTPP devotes one chapter to the textile industry and the regulations is rather strict. While other agreements need proof of origin for 1 or 2 stages, the CPTPP requires all 3 stages of textile production, namely yarn, fabric and garment, to only come from the 10 countries in the Trade Pact. Still, there are flexible rules for those that don't meet the origin criteria.
There's a regulation regarding supply shortages that allow businesses to import materials that are not available in the bloc from other countries outside the Trade Pact.
Training sessions like this have really helped us understand the circular so we can approach it better.
For other materials, if CPTPP origin certificates can't be obtained, but there is intra-region added value, it can still be accepted. Representatives from the Ministry of Industry and Trade recommends that enterprises must keep records of documents to prove their origins.
During the process of post-clearance inspection, the customs force of foreign countries can review the records and ask to certify the product origins. If we fail to prove it, we won't be entitled to preferential tariffs.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade also emphasized that in recent years, many products exported from Vietnam are being investigated due to suspicions of using fake origin to enjoy tax incentives. That's why businesses need to follow strict rules and avoid being investigated. It affects the entire industry.
The mid-range housing sector is forecast to lead Vietnam's real estate market this year. Prices of mid-range apartments have experienced recent increases and are set to still be rising. What reasons led to foreign developers paying more attention to this sector? The following story has more.
According to the latest statistics from the Hanoi Sub-Department of Population and Family Planning, population density of the capital city is around 2,100 people per square kilometer. This is 10 to 20 times higher than capital cities of other ASEAN countries. Due to such high densities, people now prefer buying an affordable apartment instead of a private house, similar to other big cities in Vietnam, such as Ho Chi Minh City. So the number of apartment buyers has significantly increased.
People now have stable jobs and earn better income. Their living quality has also improved, so they demand a better place to live.
According to the Vietnam Association of Real Estate, 80% of people living in urban areas can buy apartments at affordable prices, but the supply is not enough to meet this demand. Vietnam is said to be more competitive than other regional markets, luring foreign developers to pour their money into the country.
We have experience in Malaysia, Singapore, and Australia. Vietnam carry the most potential. The reason being itself, as I mentioned before, the indicator that reflected in the macroeconomics data, which is going only one direction, which is good, as well as Vietnam being one of the most recognized country that recommended in Asia for investment.
Many foreign developers look for large populations when considering their investment decisions. In Hanoi, urbanization has grown at a relatively good speed. It can achieve an annual growth rate of 5% in the coming years. In Ho Chi Minh City, this can be 3%. Compared to other big cities in the region, this rate is competitive.
Experts say foreign developers face fierce competition from domestic developers, as domestic ones have grown stronger now. Vietnam's excellent conditions for investment and sustainable development mean foreign developers will invest in Vietnam for the long term once they set foot in the market.
The governor of the State Bank of Vietnam required commercial banks with state capital to actively reduce lending rates to 6% per year to help businesses buy rice. Commercial banks must strengthen medium and long-term loans to support enterprises to expand their storage areas. Banks are also required to simplify the loan process and procedures, shorten the loan approval time, diversify types of credit products, and provide flexible loan terms to suit the business cycle of rice production and trading enterprises. Due to forecasted decline in global economic growth and many countries around the world investing more in agriculture, Vietnamese agricultural products are facing increasing competition in 2019. This is an assessment made by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development at a recent conference.
Apart from longan and dragon fruit, this March, this enterprise will also export 10 tons of mangoes to the U.S. for the first time. In order to ensure top quality, the enterprise accepted buying high-quality mangoes at 3 times the market price. To increase competitiveness for Vietnamese fruits in developed markets like the U.S., there needs to be closer links between enterprises and cooperatives. In the past, farmers used to work directly with cooperatives, causing prices to be volatile and quality to be uneven.
Cooperatives have already established their methods of operation. For a certain product, we will propose a price point. If the cooperative agrees, we will sign a contract and maintain the price for a year.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development set a target of having 10,000 agricultural enterprises linking with 50,000 cooperatives, which will connect to 8.6 million farming households across the country. Only by forming large farms can Vietnamese enterprises enter the global value chain. Another issue facing enterprises is transportation and warehouse costs, which are twice as much in Vietnam as in Thailand.
Vietnamese logistics are most expensive. Therefore, our fruits are much more expensive than countries like Thailand. For example, Vietnamese passion fruits are $2.6 to $3.5 per kilogram in Europe. Thai fruits are half as expensive. It is hard for us to compete.
Many agricultural export enterprises have also proposed more efficient use of trade promotion funds. The funds currently has over $4.3 million.
African swine fever has been found in Hoa Binh province. On March the 5th, 2 out of 6 dead pigs were found positive with African swine fever. To prevent further spread of the disease, localities have implemented measures to prevent and stop the disease from expanding. Some activities include banning the transport, trade, slaughtering and consumption of illegally imported pig products and those without clear origins. 540 pigs raised in Kap village in Hoa Binh province were destroyed to prevent the spread of the disease to nearby provinces. Ministries and agencies also need to disseminate accurate information to prevent public concern and encourage the participation of the public, particularly businesses and farmers, in the fight against African swine fever. Due to the current breakout of the African swine fever in the north, the price of pigs is decreasing. Many retailers take advantage of this opportunity by transporting pigs from the north to the south to sell. The Department of Agriculture and Rural Development in Ho Chi Minh City required businesses to stop sending pigs to the south for consumption. Ho Chi Minh City is the biggest pork importer in Vietnam, so the city has strengthened inspection and control of slaughter facilities to ensure imported meat source has a clear origin. There have been 7 provinces and cities across the country affected by African swine fever. The number of infected and destroyed pigs amounted to nearly 6,000. And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's check out how the Vietnam Đồng is weighed against other currencies in the world market today. Coming up next, handling urgent situations by smart applications. And later on, wood art, unique silk paintings made by special artists. Previously, if one came across an urgent situation or problem, they could try to send letters or call the hotline of the People's Committee, People's Council and other authorities. Now, any issues can be handled in an instant through smart apps. A report from Thủ Đức District, Ho Chi Minh City.
This passenger took a photo of the pile of garbage and uploaded on the app to alert authorities. This woman did not know how to use a smartphone, but got help to report a problem through this app.
I think this app is very smart. I always receive a very quick reply, and the situation is handled instantly. People want instant feedback after we process their reports. We get back to them right away. The app is very convenient for citizens because they no longer have to go in person. It makes administrative procedures more effective.
The app helps citizens interact more efficiently with authorities. Citizens can even track the progress. Trial runs were started by the Thủ Đức District Urban Management Unit.
This app helps authorities serve their citizens better. We are here to help enhance citizens' lives. It is the main goal of the app.
Soon, issues among 10 different fields such as urban security and environment will be handled quickly via the new app. This new method of interaction will help speed up the process of handling urgent issues in urban areas.
The Hanoi People's Committee proposed subsidies travel fare for Cát Linh Hà Đông Urban Railway, the city's first metro project, when it is slated to start commercial operation in April 2019. The three types of fare for the railway route are for single tickets, 24-hour cards, and monthly travel passes. The monthly travel pass price is 200,000 Vietnam dongs or $8.6 US, and the 24-hour card is priced at 30,000 Vietnam dongs or $1.29 US, which is valid for unlimited travel for one adult in one day. The proposed prices will be applied during the pilot period, and the official pricing will be set after that. Ho Chi Minh City is working with the Ministry of Planning and Investment to finalize the financial plan for additional funds for Metro Line No. 1. As expected, total investment for Metro Line 1 will increase from $731 million to $2 billion. The city affirmed that the additional funding was carefully assessed. Two Singaporean consultancies carried out independent assessments and concluded that $2 billion is the proper investment for the 18-kilometer metro line and is reasonable given the regional average. As scheduled, the additional funding for Metro Line 1 will be available in the second quarter. Ho Chi Minh City will continue cooperation with Japanese contractors to finish construction. The metro line is expected to be completed for test runs in 2020. Currently, 63% of workload has been completed. What are the benefits for foreign tourists of having e-visas granted by the Vietnamese government, and what benefits does the Vietnamese tourism industry get from e-visa policy? The following report will tell us more.
When planning to travel to Vietnam, Pooja Zelani's family was very surprised when they could apply for a visa online. This service satisfied her very much.
We got the e-visa online. It was very easy. We sent the application in, and within 3 days we had the visa in the email. We printed it off, and at the airport it was also very easy with that printout. And directly with the government it was a third of the price.
Application for visa was very simple. I just had to apply on Vietnam visa site, and then I got a e-visa on my email, and I just had to bring that printout.
After piloting e-visas policy, the number of Vietnamese visitors has grown. The market has been expanded, and the customers also find it more convenient since it is easier and faster to complete relevant procedures and documents.
From the perspective of management agencies, e-visa policies are not only an indispensable trend of technology applications for tourism development, but also an e-visa data source to improve travel policies planning.
When implementing e-visa policies, all data about the tourists when applying for a visa has become digitized data on the system of the State Administration of Immigrant and Tourism. Thus, we will have a database to perform solid market research.
It can be seen that the e-visa policy will be a boon to the Vietnamese tourism industry and can improve its competitiveness with other tourist markets in the region. But according to travel experts and businesses, there is still a need for further adjustments in the coming time for Vietnam's tourism to fulfill its potential, especially in attracting international visitors.
These fabric scraps might seem useless to some, but through these meticulous hands as well as the artist's diligence and creativity, they turn into very unique paintings. The idea belongs to Lê Việt Cường, a person with a disability and director of Wood Art in Hà Đông, Hanoi. Let's learn more about these unique works of art in the following report.
A mouse wedding, Đồng Hồ Pig, or images of Văn Miếu and Hồ Gươm are Wood Art's creation, inspired by Vietnamese folk paintings such as those from Hàng Chống and Đông Hồ. The canvas is made from vạn phúc fabric and scraps, and these artworks were created by artists with physical disabilities.
I love working here. I have a disability with one arm. Seeing a product that I made, I felt so happy. It was not easy for me. A regular person might take just a day. It would take another half day for me.
Bad products can never survive in the market. We will no longer rely on people's support. Our products need to be beautiful and have good quality. The story about workers behind the products is only a small part. We encourage our staff to always try to improve our products. It took us a year just for training before we opened our factory.
Wood Art's products are gradually winning the hearts of the public and receiving orders from domestic enterprises. Apart from providing job opportunities for less fortunate people, Wood Art also provides a creative space, attracting a large number of tourists.
This job requires such meticulous and care. I feel very happy experiencing the work here.
These fabric scraps have been made into outstanding paintings. After a year of operation, 16 workers with disabilities have found stable jobs with Wood Art.
Coming up next in our world news, explosive packages found at Heathrow, Waterloo and London City Airport. And later on, new life of Japanese swordsmith workshops. Counter-terrorism police are investigating 3 packages containing explosives found at Heathrow Airport, London City Airport and Waterloo Station. The small improvised explosive devices were found in A4 postal bags, the Metropolitan Police said. The Force Counter-Terrorism Command is treating it as a linked series and keeping an open mind about motives. Irish police are assisting the Metropolitan Police as the Heathrow and Waterloo packages had Republic of Ireland stamps. Heathrow's Compass Centre was evacuated after a package was reported to police at about 9:55. The device caught fire when staff opened the bag. Scotland Yard said the packages, all A4-sized white postal bags containing yellow jiffy bags, have been assessed by specialist officers to be small improvised explosive devices, which appear capable of igniting an initially small fire when opened. A second person has experienced sustained remission from HIV-1, according to a case study to be published on Tuesday in the journal Nature. Some scientists believe that the London patient has been cured of the viral infection, which affects close to 37 million people worldwide. The new case report comes more than 10 years after the first case, known as the Berlin patient. Both patients were treated with stem cell transplants from donors who carried a rare genetic mutation that made them resistant to HIV. The London patient has been in remission for 18 months since he stopped taking antiretroviral drugs. Ravindra Gupta, lead author of the study and a professor in University College London's Division of Infection and Immunity, said that the method used is not appropriate for all patients, but offers hope for new treatment strategies, including gene therapies. He and his colleagues will continue to monitor the man's condition, as it is still too early to say that he has been cured of HIV. Almost 1 million people die annually from HIV-related causes.
Names on it.
Hillary Clinton says she won't run for president in 2020, but vows she's not going anywhere. The former Secretary of State, Senator and First Lady ruled out another campaign during an interview posted on Monday by New York TV station News 12. Clinton, who lost the 2016 presidential election to Donald Trump, says, "I'm going to keep on working and speaking and standing up for what I believe. What's at stake in our country, the kind of things that are happening right now are deeply troubling to me, she said. 14 candidates have announced their participation in the 2020 presidential election, including Senator Kamala Harris of California and independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, whose 2016 presidential campaign helped energize the progressive movement and perhaps the Democratic Party. Due to anti-war policies after the Second World War, many long-standing warsmith villages in Japan were unable to make swords. In order to preserve the art of the swordsmiths passed down by their ancestors for generations, Japanese craftsmen have switched to making metal tools like knives and scissors. Let's see how talented craftsmen breathe new life into their traditional craft in the following.
75-year-old Miyawaki is a craftsman of the Mitsuo family that has been making metal tools and swords for generations in Hino Town, Tottori's prefecture. The traditional craft called tatara involves the burning of charcoal to forge iron. To make high-quality steel, the craftsman's experience is vital. Like other local households, the Mitsuo family has not been allowed to make sword since World War II ended.
The difference between sword and knife is material. Making a sword may take up to 3 years, as we have to grind the sword so many times. Today it only takes us 1 to 2 days to make knives, costing 10 to 20,000 yen.
Okuhino area in Tottori Prefecture is said to be one of the 2 places where Japanese iron crafts began early and thrive. Thanks to abundant iron ore of high quality, in the 18th and 19th centuries, iron produced in this area was sold throughout Japan.
Iron ore was found very early in this area. Our ancestors used iron ore and charcoal to make steel. That was the starting point of Japanese iron craft, which was around the year of 550.
The area around Sendai Mountain in Tottori Prefecture is seen as one of the cradles of Japanese swords. This is also the homeland of Hoki Yasusuna, who was the first person to make a curved sword in Japan.